Hello everyone. After months of radio silence, we've got some updates on a new stimulus package before the year comes to a close. Now make sure to hit the subscribe button because I'll be keeping you updated over the next few weeks on exactly what is going on with this new stimulus proposal and what Congress ultimately decides to cut or leave in there and how it's going to affect you, your family, and your community. Now, there's a bunch of sticking points of contention between both parties that have been holding up a stimulus bill from being passed. So we'll cover those throughout this video as well. So as of December 4th, we've got some updated news on a proposed stimulus bill. For the last few months, there hasn't been any real significant movement in terms of a new stimulus bill. So I refrain from making a bunch of stimulus update videos, but let me know down below in the comments if you would like me to cover the topic more closely and give you all the play-by-plays as to what's happening in Congress and how it actually might affect you and your family. Now, here we are in the first weeks of December and time is running out for the US government to approve a second coronavirus relief package. Now, the Senate adjourns for its holiday recess on December 18th, and there's nothing like trying to get things done at the last minute while the health and wealth of American citizens hang in the balance. My personal opinion is we should stop their paychecks, healthcare plans, and all their benefits so they've got to suffer with everyone else, and just maybe that would give them the motivation to strike a deal for the American people. Now, if you're a fan of that, hit the like button for me. Now, the real urgency to pass something is that protections for unemployed Americans, renters, and federal student loan borrowers will expire at the end of the year, and this is all occurring against the backdrop of a global health pandemic that's wreaking havoc on the United States. The dire seriousness of Congress not passing a bill is that 6.7 million Americans are facing eviction as the federal eviction moratorium ends on December 31st. Now, that would approach the numbers we saw foreclosures during the 2008 financial crisis. In addition to this, 12 million jobless workers are set to be cut off from unemployment aid on December 26th. Now, these two lapses would expose the underbelly of the US economy and undoubtedly create a recession, which will have drastic effects on everyone within the US. If you remember, the first stimulus package that passed was the $2.2 trillion CARES Act, which was signed back in March, which stood for Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security. This is the bill that resulted in most Americans getting that $1,200 stimulus check. I actually want to know from all of you, was that $1,200 check enough? Let me know down in the comments if that $1,200 check actually helped or if it needed to be more or less. How fast did that money disappear for you and what did you actually use it for? Now, I'm always interested to hear from real people on the ground the impact that a $1,200 check had instead of taking a politician's words for it. So leave a comment down below. Now, there's currently two plans being floated on the floor right now. The first one is the Emergency Relief Framework Bill being proposed by bipartisan lawmakers and being led by Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. This bipartisan bill includes Republican Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Republican Susan Collins of Maine, Independent Angus King of Maine, Republican Mitt Romney of Utah, and Democrat Mark R. Warner of Virginia. This plan would provide a $908 billion stimulus package. The bill would primarily target small business healthcare providers and unemployed workers. $288 billion would jumpstart the Drain Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, for small businesses and $180 billion in unemployment aid. This bill does not have any mention of funding of another round of stimulus checks for every American. Now, Nancy Pelosi has initially proposed matching the $2.2 trillion CARES Act and providing another $2.2 trillion, but she seems to be willing to compromise on this bipartisan proposal. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on December 1st pretty much shot down this proposal and has proposed what he considers a targeted relief package. In comparison to the bipartisan plan put forth, it's a lot less comprehensive. It directs about $330 billion to a one-month extension of two unemployment programs, the PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, and the PEUC, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, both programs which are set to expire on December 26. Now, McConnell's plan would provide companies with liability limitations for COVID-related lawsuits that would come from possible workers. The other catch is that the bill does not mention another round of $1,200 checks for every American either. I'll be doing a video that breaks down all the elements of McConnell's plan and the emergency relief framework. If you would like to see that breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when I release that this coming week for you. Now, both parties, guys, are still far apart on what they want to see in a bill. Some of the main sticking points are providing hundreds of billions in funding to states and cities that have been hit by a shortage of tax revenues as a result of the pandemic. Now, Trump, during the HEROES Act proposal back in October, didn't want to give what he called Democrat cities a bailout And that sentiment has remained an issue for some Republicans. The truth, though, is Republican states such as Texas and Ohio are facing the same types of budget deficits that California and New York are facing. Now, another sticking point is what to do about unemployment aid. Democrats are pushing for a renewal of the $600 weekly pay under the CARES Act, while Republicans argue that these jobless benefits are too generous and are keeping people from returning to work, which I just need to mention that has not been proved with economic data at this point, but that's the argument. Now, another sticking point for Democrats is Republican bills that include legislation that immunizes businesses from coronavirus-related lawsuits. Democrats fear that businesses may avoid safety measures that protect their employees in order to boost profits while leaving their employees to deal with coronavirus health implications that may come as a result of negligence. Now, as of now, neither side has been able to reach a resolution on this issue, and that includes the bipartisan group. So hit that like button if you don't care about political parties and you just want to see our government work together to protect us, the people. So the way things stand right now, McConnell does not seem to support the bipartisan agreement known as the Emergency Relief Framework, and Pelosi is not willing to support McConnell's small deal. This does not mean that the Emergency Relief Framework is completely dead, though. On December 2nd, Pelosi and Schumer have thrown their support behind the bipartisan bill. Now, the bill has also now drawn the support of Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia and Republican Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because over the next few weeks, I'll be posting updates for you on what you can expect and exactly what's going on with actually passing a new stimulus bill and how that will affect you. Make sure, guys, that you leave a comment down below on your opinion of these two proposals and what you think should be done.